There is a place along the French Broad River where the mountains close in, where the road presses tight against the stone, and the river has nowhere else to go. If you pass through it, you feel it. Not because of what you see, but because of what's still there. A wall of rock rises straight out of the water, and once on that wall, there were markings, paint, figures, placed high above the ground where no one could reach them. They're almost gone now, but this place was never meant to be ignored. This is Echoes of the Blue Ridge. I'm North Carolina Realtor Ryan Phillips. Paint Rock sits at the edge of North Carolina just before the land opens into Tennessee. But here it doesn't open, it tightens. The river narrows, the mountains close, and everything moving through this region, past or present, is forced into the same corridor. There are no alternate routes, no easy ways around. You pass through here or you don't pass at all. Long before roads, before surveys, before names, something was placed on that rock. Red pigment, yellow lines, figures of humans, animals, birds, and fish, not carved, but painted and placed where they would catch the eye of anyone moving through the gap. Not decoration, position. Modern testing would later reveal that no one passing through there could have known. The markings on that rock are about 5,000 years old. 5,000! Which means when the first written accounts appear, the meaning was already ancient, already carried forward, or already gone. In 1796, a French botanist, André Michaux, passed through this same corridor. He recorded only a single phrase, a red painted rock. Nothing more, no explanation, just enough to say it was still there. 3 years later, a surveyor named John Strother arrived to mark the boundary between North Carolina and Tennessee. He stopped, measured the cliff, 107 feet 3 inches, and wrote what he saw. Figures, humans, animals, birds, fish, still visible, still there, but already fading. Not from time alone, from smoke. Travelers had camped beneath the rock. Fires burned, and the soot climbed upward, slowly covering what had been placed there long before them. This place was never just a surface. It was a funnel, a narrowing of terrain so tight that movement slows and attention sharpens. The river crossing, the old road, everything converges here. And anything placed on that rock was placed in front of everyone. Not far from this point in 1778, two frontier scouts, Thomas Morgan and Henry Reynolds, moved through this corridor tracking stolen horses during the Revolutionary War. And in doing so, they discovered the warm mineral waters that would become known as warm springs. That same passage, the same narrowing, the same rock, already standing above them, already marked. A few years later, that same place appears again in a sworn statement. Thomas Morgan recalled an encounter near the Painted Rock, where he killed a Cherokee man along the river. It is one sentence, buried in a deposition, easy to miss, but it places this rock not just in story, but in blood. By the early 1800s, the markings were no longer clear. Observers would describe them as strange hieroglyphics, never deciphered, because by then the people who passed through were no longer the people who made them. By 1837, Paint Rock appears again, this time in a newspaper, listed alongside the warm springs as something to visit, something to describe, something to see. No longer a message, no longer a marker of meaning, just a place. Just upriver, the hot springs rise from the earth, waters long believed to heal. But those who traveled this land long before it was mapped, these were not destinations of convenience, they were places of purpose. And Paint Rock may have been part of that journey, a stopping point, a place to look up before continuing forward. By the 1790s, a blockhouse stood nearby, 6 guards, not for the paintings, for the passage. Because whoever controlled this corridor controlled movement through the mountains. If you stand there today, you see water, stone, road, nothing unusual, nothing obvious. But this was never just a place you passed. It was a place that marked you, whether you understood it or not. Some of the paint is still there, if you know where to look. The meaning, uncertain, but the position remains. And that was always the point. Some places are built, some are named, and some are chosen. Paint Rock was chosen, not because of what it is, but because of where it stands. And for thousands of years, everyone who passed through that gap looked up, even if they didn't know why. Next time on Echoes of the Blue Ridge, we move deeper into the mountains, where the land holds other places, just as quiet and just as watchful. Until then, listen carefully. The echoes are still here.